Hello, it's time for Flashback, the weekly history quiz. Let's find out what's happened in history. In 1903, the U.S. helps rebels in Colombia secede and form a new country, Panama, so it can build a canal. Against that, we're placing a ship makes the first known visit to a group of Pacific islands. They're named for the giant tortoises, or in Spanish, Galapagos, that live there. Well, that's obviously a couple hundred years before that, 1535, more than a couple. The guitarist Jimi Hendrix headlines Woodstock, performing an iconic rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. When is that? Is that 1969? Yes, it is 1969. Textile workers in England revolt against new technology that reduces their work. They call themselves Luddites. That'll be in between these two, clearly. And yes, 1811, there we go. Bob Ross starts his TV show, The Joy of Painting, a former drill sergeant who yelled often. He vowed to always speak calmly after leaving the military. I didn't know that. That's absolutely incredible. Good for him. That's a really nice thing. I'm guessing that's sometime in the 70s. I mean, Bob Ross has the most sort of 70s looking aesthetic imaginable. Oh, no, it's not. It's 1983. Well, there we go. Not far off. Harper Lee receives a year's salary from her friends so she can stop working and focus on her writing. She publishes the novel To Kill a Mockingbird. Good for her as well. Let's see. When was that? Was that, I'm guessing, before 1969? I mean, that maybe the late 50s? What is that? 1960. Okay, so yeah, almost the late 50s. Remington sells its first typewriters. Typewritten letters are seen as impersonal, insulting, and so convenient that they're widely adopted. I mean, that really is the thing with technology. Convenience is the thing that wins every time, basically, if you just look historically, going back millennia, I suppose. All right, so when do we think that is? When do I think this happened? Sometime between 1811 and 1903, I'm thinking. Yes, 1874. Antoine van Leeuwenhoek, a Dutch cloth merchant, wants to see his threads more clearly. He makes his own microscope and is the first to observe bacteria. Interesting. When do I think that is? Do I think that's before or after 1811? First microscope. I'm guessing before. I'm guessing 18th century. It is. No, it wasn't. It was the 17th century. Look at that. Wow. Definitely earlier than I thought. 11 families, Native American, African, and Spanish volunteers, including 22 children, are recruited by Spain to found Los Angeles. Oof, this is probably the thing where if you're from Los Angeles, you probably know this instantly because I bet the year is on the sort of seal of the city and things like that, but I don't know this. When do I think this is? I really don't know. I guess the question is it before or after 1676? Probably after. Honestly, I don't. I feel silly for not knowing this, but it was 1781. Okay, good. That was the century I would have guessed, but I honestly, it was a guess. But it worked because I got them all right, along with about a quarter of people in total. Let's see what tripped others up in this more common category of missing a few. Just about everybody got the Galapagos Islands. That's not a big surprise. About a fifth of people misplaced Antoine van Leeuwenhoek. I'm sure I'm butchering that name, and the microscope. Yeah, I could imagine thinking that maybe came later, probably. Oh, look at that! Half of people misplaced Los Angeles. Well, I can't blame them, given that I wasn't very certain about that at all. Most people got the Luddites and their reaction against new technology. Actually, that's a good example of the convenience thing. It's just it'll ultimately win. And then actually a third of people misplaced Remington and its typewriters. That's interesting. I wonder if more people thought that was before or after this point. Most people got Harper Lee and To Kill a Mockingbird correct. The overwhelming majority of people got Jimi Hendrix performing at Woodstock correct. And, well, about 14% of people misplaced Bob Ross in his TV show, maybe thinking it was earlier. And there we go. Those were some interesting events in history. Always enjoy this. Back next week with more of it. Until then, bye for now. Take care.